Hi guys, this is ex-church girl Sophia. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I had just filmed this video and it started going past 10 minutes and then my phone fell down, so I'm refilming the whole thing. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is the ex-church girl Sophia. I am still out here believing in a higher power above myself. I'm just spiritual now and no longer religious. That's all the name is about, okay? And just want to talk to you all today about my cycle of DV, domestic violence. And I want to tell you all that my cycle of mistreatment, I call it, started at 18 years old. I had met this guy 12 years older than me, and he was a manipulator. He manipulated me into the relationship. And it started off first with him shoving me. I think he walked past me one time and kind of like shoved me out the way, like move, and then I overlooked that. And then the next time it was a push, and then it was a shove, a hard shove, and then it was went from a shove to a slap. So I saw it start to escalate, and I chose to stay in that relationship. My mom and my stepfather, her boyfriend wasn't my stepfather at the time. They warned me because they said he was just too old for me, and I just wanted to stay in a relationship. I had a young man 2 years older who was interested in me. I had a guy 2 years younger interested in me. I chose to go with this older man, so I'm accepting full accountability for my behavior, right? And an accountability for going into that relationship. I wasn't blindsided like the guy. I knew how rotten the guy was. Like, I did feel manipulated though, because I felt like he was going to treat me better because he was older, and that's not always the case either. I thought he had more money than he did. He finally confessed to me that he was actually struggling and broke while we were together, and I just felt some type of way about that. But I'm glad he told me. We kind of talked last year sometime. I'll do another video about that, how he tried to come back, and I had to let that relationship go. Put him on probation for 90 days and just said, I'm out. Don't go back to your exes, people. Leave them folks where they are. But anyway, this cycle of domestic mistreatment started for me early on. And so I got used to the negative behaviors. I got used to it being normal in my life. I got used to it being part of my life. And I felt like a guy wasn't interested in me if he wasn't mistreating me, which is so freaking crazy. And I just felt like I was meant to be treated like that. Like, it became a normal for me. It became normal for me to accept mistreatment. It became normal for me to go from being pushed and shoved, slapped in the face, punched around, choked while being pregnant. And this guy literally cut off my airway while I was pregnant. Like, I was sitting in the car talking to him. He got angry about something I said, and I was like, well, I really don't want a baby. I didn't really want a baby, and right now, and I didn't really want any kids, because I didn't plan on having any children. I just didn't take the precautions to not have any. And don't judge me, because everybody makes mistakes, so don't point the finger at me on this one. That's why I tell you all, protect yourselves out there, right? And he just kept, telling me, he was very mean to me when I was pregnant. That's why, ladies, pregnancy only escalates bad behaviors in these guys. Like, I didn't want to get on here and I'm not a man basher. I love our black men, but sometimes when they're toxic, you just got to move on. You just got to be prepared to be by yourself and be single and be okay with it. Like, we just got to stop being desperate out here. Desperados, as I call it. And then when I became pregnant, this guy literally grabbed me we were talking in the car. He grabs me by the collar and chokes me, starts choking me. I'm like, I had to tell him I can't breathe. Like, he had my airway cut off, like the way he had my coat. I had on a quilted coat, cute little lilac colored coat. Had on my little cute little shoes. I was trying to be cute during pregnancy. I bought me some cute clothes when I went to visit my daddy in Indiana. My stepmom and I went shopping, and we were sitting in the car, one of my brand new outfits on. He tore my coat. Like, he grabbed me so hard, and then had my collar all the way up to here, and my airway was cut off. I said, I can't breathe. And I began crying, and I was like almost trying to scratch him, because I'm like, please, please. I was begging. And he finally like let me go like that, like snatched me away from him. So I'm sorry, people, this video may be a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but he did that while I was sitting in the car, and I said, please. And then he was like, well, you could just take yourself up down the L and throw yourself over on the tracks if you don't want to be pregnant. Like, he was just so mean-spirited to me when I got pregnant. That's why, ladies, these guys, when you're going through toxic relationships, before you get pregnant, they're going to turn more toxic afterwards. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of scary, because he could have killed me at that moment and nobody would have known the wires. Or my mom, he could have just, like, if it was present day, he probably would have just took me somewhere and tossed me in a garbage can somewhere and threw me out. Like, that's how I feel like he treated me that night. And it was at nighttime. This was like 10 or 11 at night. We were together sitting in the car talking, and it escalated. That's how quick these situations escalate. And this is where my cycle started. And I still felt like it was okay to accept that, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew. That's all I knew, because I felt like that was the way for a person to show you love, and why mistreating you, because I had learned that at home. And so when he cut off my airway, I was sitting there crying. I had snot literally running down my clothes and everything. I think he had grabbed a tissue for me, and he's like, he was sitting there breathing hard. Why do you make me do this? Why do you push me? And I couldn't even look at him. He was like, look at me. Look at me. And I turned and looked at him. I couldn't stop crying. My nose was snotty. And I'm like, please, I just want to go. Please let me go. And I just got out the car. Like, I didn't feel like talking. I was afraid. And I knew he had a gun. He kept a gun on him. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, this man could have just took his gun out from under the seat, shot me dead, and said I tried to rob him or I tried to do something to him. This is scary. This is really scary right now. And I'm meaning to scare you all, because I want you all to know that at any time, the situation, these chains of mistreatment can escalate from 0 to 100. And that's why, guys, people are like, what happened? He snapped. No, he didn't snap. The situations, like when he grabbed me and started choking me and cutting off my airway, that went from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. Like, I didn't have time to think about it. I didn't have time to react. I didn't have time to get out the car. I didn't have time to do anything. And that's what I mean by escalating situations. And I'll have to do a video about that, because I think people really need to understand the importance of being safe out here. And escalating. I wrote it down so I can do a video on it. And because at no time, at any time, a guy can just, it's not a snap, it just escalate, just go off the deep end. And could it be considered a snap situation? Yes. But I call it escalating, because it happens so quick. Like, you don't have no control over it. You're at the mercy of that man. And it's only by the grace of God, the grace of the universe, I call it the grace of the universe, that I'm even here today, because I've been in some deadly situations. And that was one that, when I think about it, it's like, it's really scary, because I allowed myself in that situation. And that's why I'm telling you all, please stay out of these situations that you can end up being taken out of here, being taken off the earth, because somebody is not happy with what you're doing or what you're saying. It usually has something to do with what you're saying. If you say something they don't like, they get upset about it. So please make sure that you protect yourself. And a lot of times, and really, I don't even have all the answers for you all anymore, because every situation I've seen on the internet with Twisted Crimes channel and several of the other channels out here, the Trey King Show channel. The newest one I'm watching is Stock Market Steve channel, where he talks about cases. He was really went in on that Alicia Watts case. It's just so many people out here talking about DV now, and it's scary because it's just case after case after case. And I am seeing that every case is different, but they all have something in common. The guy goes from 0 to 100, and he ends up taking that person, that woman, out of here. Usually it's a woman. It has been some cases of men also. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but lately I have seen so many cases against women because they say they want a divorce, or so you're saying something the man doesn't like, so he takes you out. Or the lady is seeing the young lady sitting in the car and the boyfriend is wiping the handprints off the bullets, and he takes a few minutes later, he takes her out with a gun because of something she's saying. We say, okay, you don't believe me? Okay. Usually it's something that woman says that sets this guy off. But that means he's already been set off previously. Like, this is not new. This is not new behavior. You see what I'm saying? Like, these behaviors are not new. These are guys that have been put through the ringer, according to them, because of your mouth. Because my guy was always saying, oh, you are always pushing me. You are always pushing me to the edge. You're always making me do this. No, I'm not making you do it. You're choosing to do it, sucker. I'm sorry, I just had a moment. You're choosing to do it because you want to. And I'm just grateful to be alive today. I'm grateful to be 59, because when that happened, I was only 18 years old the first time it happened. And it just makes me sick to my stomach to know that these cases are coming out more and more. So I'm determined to share my story. It's not more about my ego and how I can hide it, how I can make myself look like a perfect human being. Forget all that. It's about putting the word out that this is how it starts. It usually starts early. Take a look back. If you're in a situation now where a guy's mistreating you, where did your first situation start? Please post it below if you have any, if you want to comment on it. Or just let me know with a sad face that, you've been through it. You may not want to talk about it. Just put a sad face and put a diamond, because no matter what happened to you in the past, you're here for a reason. You're here to make things better for yourself. And don't give up on yourself, ladies. Don't ever give up on yourselves. And don't forget, you're still a diamond. And that's what makes you a diamond, because of what you've gone through. Love you all. Next video coming up next. See you soon.